Imagine you're driving home after a long day, and suddenly a small orange light pops up on your dashboard, the DPF warning light. You think, it's probably nothing, I'll deal with it later. But here's the thing, that tiny light can turn into a very big problem if you keep ignoring it. In fact, that single warning has the power to damage your engine, kill your fuel economy, and leave you with a repair bill in the thousands. So before you brush it off again, let's break down what actually happens when you ignore the DPF light and why so many diesel owners regret not taking it seriously. First, let's quickly understand what that light really means. DPF stands for diesel particulate filter. It's a part of your exhaust system that traps tiny black soot particles before they can blow out into the air. It's basically your diesel's lung filter, keeping emissions clean and helping your engine stay compliant with environmental laws. But here's the catch. Like any filter, it fills up over time. When it gets too full, the DPF light turns on to tell you, hey, I'm clogged. I need to clean myself. That cleaning process is called regeneration, or simply regen. During regen, your engine increases the exhaust temperature to burn away the soot trapped inside the filter. This keeps it clean and prevents serious problems. Now, when the DPF light first appears, it's not an emergency. Yet, it's just your engine politely asking for a regen cycle. Usually all you have to do is drive at highway speed for about 15 to 30 minutes, keeping the RPMs up so the exhaust gets hot enough to burn the soot away. If you do that, the light often goes off by itself and you're good to go. But most drivers don't do that. They keep driving short trips, stop and go traffic, or just ignore the warning completely. And that's where things start to go downhill fast. When the light stays on and you don't let the filter regenerate, soot keeps building up inside. Soon, your DPF becomes so clogged that the engine can't push exhaust gases through it anymore. That's when your diesel starts to lose power, run rough, or even enter limp mode, which limits your speed to protect the engine. It's like your truck saying, you didn't listen, now I'm saving myself. And that's just the beginning. Because if you keep driving in that condition, things can get ugly fast. So what really happens inside your engine when that DPF light keeps glowing and you just keep driving like nothing's wrong? Let's walk through it step by step, because it's not just about the filter. It affects your entire engine system. When the filter starts getting full of soot, exhaust gases can't escape properly. That pressure begins to build up inside the exhaust system. Kind of like when you're trying to blow through a clogged straw. Your engine now has to work harder to push the exhaust out, and that's where fuel efficiency drops. You'll start to notice you're filling up more often, maybe an extra gallon or two every week. At first, it's easy to ignore, but over time, this back pressure starts hurting your turbocharger. The turbo depends on a clean exhaust flow to spin freely, and when that flow is restricted, the turbo starts to overheat and wear out faster. If you've ever heard a faint whistling or whining sound when accelerating, that could be the turbo struggling against a blocked DPF. But that's not the only problem. The engine oil starts to suffer too. When regeneration fails and soot keeps building up, unburned fuel from failed regen attempts can mix with your oil, making it thinner and dirtier. That means less lubrication, more friction, and eventually internal engine damage. It's a slow, silent killer. You might not notice it at first. Maybe the truck feels just a little off, or you get random check engine lights. But under the hood, the wear is happening. Now, here's something a lot of drivers don't realize. Modern diesels will try automatic regeneration a few times when the DPF light comes on. If you keep interrupting those regens, like shutting off the engine too soon or only driving short distances, the filter never gets hot enough to clean itself. After a few failed attempts, the truck gives up and says, okay, you clearly don't want to help me out. That's when the DPF light turns solid. And sometimes you'll even see another warning, service DPF system now. If you still ignore that, the system goes into limp mode, cutting your power drastically. You might barely be able to drive 30 or 40 miles per hour, and forget about towing or hauling anything heavy. It's the engine's way of saying enough is enough. I'm not letting you destroy me. At this point, many owners finally take their truck to a mechanic. But by then, it's often too late for a simple fix. A professional DPF cleaning might still save it if the clog isn't severe. But if the filter is completely blocked, you're looking at a full replacement, and that's where the pain hits. Depending on your vehicle, a new DPF can cost anywhere from $2,000 to over $6,000, not including labor or extra parts. And if the turbo or sensors were damaged in the process, you could easily double that. So yeah, ignoring that small orange light can turn into a 5-figure mistake if you're not careful. But let's go even deeper, because when that back pressure keeps rising, your engine starts losing its ability to breathe. Exhaust gases get trapped inside, temperatures soar, and eventually, the engine itself can fail. In severe cases, pistons crack, head gaskets blow, or injectors get fried from the extreme heat. It's the mechanical equivalent of a person trying to run while breathing through a blocked mask. Eventually, something gives out. And all of that starts with one tiny light on your dashboard. Mistake number 2, they think they can ignore it because the truck still drives fine. But as we just learned, every mile you drive with a clogged DPF is adding stress and heat to the entire exhaust and turbo system. Let's bust another myth. Some people believe that if they pour an additive or a DPF cleaner into the tank, it'll magically fix the issue. Now, some additives can help slightly with regeneration by lowering soot burn temperatures, but they're not a cure for a blocked DPF. If your filter is already full, no bottle in the world will save it. It's like trying to fix a clogged drain with air freshener. It might smell better, but the pipe is still blocked. The best thing you can do is change your driving habits. If you mostly do city driving, stop-and-go traffic, or short trips, your DPF never gets hot enough to regenerate properly. Try taking it for a longer drive at least once a week to give it time to burn off that buildup. Also, don't shut off the engine in the middle of a regen. If you notice the RPM slightly higher than usual or a bit of extra exhaust heat, that's probably your truck in the middle of cleaning itself. Let it finish. Turning it off mid-regen can cause failed attempts that clog the system faster. And here's something many people don't realize. Your driving style affects soot buildup too. If you constantly drive at very low RPMs, the exhaust gases stay cooler, meaning the soot can't burn away efficiently. So every now and then, it actually helps to rev the engine a little higher. Give it a chance to clear itself out. It's not about racing your truck, it's about keeping it healthy. Now, if your DPF light stays on even after a proper highway regen, that's when you should get it checked. It might mean the filter is too full or the pressure sensors aren't reading correctly. Sometimes a forced regeneration at a repair shop can clear it. This process uses diagnostic tools to heat the DPF to extreme temperatures and burn out all the soot safely. That service usually costs between $200 and $400, which is way cheaper than replacing the filter for thousands. So, the lesson here is simple. Don't fear the DPF light, but don't ignore it either. It's your truck's way of asking for a little attention before things get expensive. But before we wrap this up, there's still one more thing you need to know. Something that could save your diesel engine from long-term damage, even after the light goes off. Because just clearing the light isn't enough. You have to make sure the problem doesn't come back. That's what we'll cover in the final phase, where we'll go over preventive tips, long-term care, and what every diesel owner should do to avoid DPF nightmares for good. All right, now that you know what happens when you ignore that DPF light and what you should do the moment it turns on, let's finish strong with the most important part, how to keep it from ever coming back. Because here's the truth, once you've dealt with a clogged DPF once, you'll never want to go through it again. Let's start with simple daily habits that make a big difference. Don't baby your diesel too much. Many owners think driving gently will make their engine last longer, but with modern diesels, that's not always true. If you always drive at low speeds or idle too long, your exhaust never gets hot enough for the DPF to clean itself. So once in a while, let it stretch its legs. Take it on a longer drive, keep steady RPMs around 2000 or higher, and let the temperature rise. Think of it like exercise for your truck. It needs to sweat a little to stay in shape. 2. Use the right engine oil. This one's huge. Make sure you're using low ash oil that's rated for DPF-equipped engines. Cheap or wrong oil can create extra soot and ash that clogs the filter faster. Always check your manual. The label usually says something like low ASEEPs or DPF safe. It might cost a little more, but it's way cheaper than replacing a $5,000 filter. Keep up with regular maintenance. Clogged EGR valves, dirty air filters, or leaky injectors can all cause more soot than normal, which means more work for your DPF. A quick inspection every few months keeps things clean and helps your engine breathe properly. And if you ever notice black smoke from your exhaust, that's a sign your system isn't burning fuel efficiently. Fixing that early prevents bigger problems down the road. Never interrupt a regeneration. You'll know when it's happening. The idle might rise slightly. You might hear the fan kick in, and the exhaust will feel hotter than usual. If that happens, don't shut off the engine right away. Let the regen finish. Usually it takes 10 to 15 minutes. Stopping it halfway makes your DPF light come back faster next time. 5. Avoid deleting your DPF. Now, this might sound tempting. A lot of drivers online claim that removing the DPF gives better mileage and power. And yes, but here's what they don't tell you. And DPF delete is illegal in most countries, including the US. And it can get your truck flagged during inspections or even banned from the road. Plus, newer engines are designed to work with emission systems. Once you remove them, you risk engine problems, rough idling, and constant error codes. So don't fall for that shortcut. It's not worth it. 6. Learn your truck's regen behavior. Every diesel model has its own regeneration pattern. Some do it automatically while driving. Others start only when the system hits a certain soot level. Spend 5 minutes reading your owner's manual. It'll tell you exactly what your truck needs to keep the DPF healthy. Knowing how your system works helps you stay one step ahead of any warning light. And finally, here's a mindset shift every diesel owner should have. Stop thinking of the DPF as a problem. Start seeing it as a guardian, something designed to protect your engine and the environment at the same time. It doesn't fail overnight. It gives you plenty of warnings. That little light is your truck saying, take care of me now, and I'll take care of you for years. Because when maintained properly, a diesel with a good DPF system can last hundreds of thousands of miles. You'll get better mileage, smoother performance, and fewer emissions, all while keeping your engine running clean and strong. Ignore it though, and it's a countdown to clogged filters, limp mode, and repair bills that could buy you another car. So next time that orange DPF light flashes on your dash, don't panic, just act. Take it for a drive, let it clean itself, and give your truck the breathing room it needs. It's one small habit that saves thousands of dollars and keeps your diesel alive for the long run. If you found this video helpful, make sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and share it with someone who drives a diesel. Thanks for watching, and until next time, take care of your engine, and it'll take care of you.